The sound of bagpipes filling the Palm Springs Convention Center for the beginning of the memorial service for fallen Palm Springs police officers Leslie Zarebny and Gil Vega. Vega's casket was carried into the convention center. Sources tell us Zarebny was cremated before the event. A crowd of more than 15,000 people, including politicians, residents, and hundreds of family members paying their respects for two of Palm Springs' finest. Several dozen of Officer Vega's large family shared fond moments and memories of a phenomenal father, mentor, and officer.
I felt some consolation knowing he died doing what he loved to do. It was his day off. He volunteered. Okay?
When I think of how we can move forward as a united country, I think of my uncle. He was the best of what all Americans value. His life mattered.
He will be watching us. He won't ever leave us. Even though we can't see him, doesn't mean he can't see us. But everything I learned was from him.
Family photos of both officers accompanied by music were used as breaks between speakers, including the song Hallelujah, sung by the Canadian group The Tenors. Officer Leslie Zarebny's family was represented by Zarebny's cousin, Pastor Joe Annady, sharing how Zarebny was a committed police officer and even more so, a loving mother to her 4-month-old daughter, Cora.
You could see it in her eyes. She was so committed to being a good mother to her. She was so tender and nurturing, so engaged. Leslie loved her job very much, but it was so hard for her to leave Cora at home and to go back to work.
She loved to brag about everything from Cora's first gaze into her mother's eyes to the first time she heard Cora's laugh. Leslie was a wonderful mother. She loved Cora endlessly.
Friends of the family also talked about the relationship between Leslie and her husband, Zach Zarebny, a Riverside County Sheriff's deputy.
All of us were so proud to see such a beautiful young couple start careers in law enforcement and get married. It's like we were all your dads, Zach. We're just so proud of you, both of you.
It takes a special person to don the boots we wear and step into a world where certainty is rare. We bravely venture where others never would, fighting to ensure that evil never triumphs over good. It's a calling that's reserved for just a chosen few, represented here today by this sea of tan and blue.
Attention all units. This is an end of watch broadcast for Police Officer Jose Gilbert Vega.
This is an end of watch broadcast for Police Officer Leslie Zarebny. Officer Zarebny passed away on October 8th, 2016 from a gunshot wound sustained in the line of duty.
Hi, there's people with machine guns, with ARs, that are shooting up at my work.
Someone tapped me on the shoulder and said there's an active shooter in the city.
They're asking for all units that are available. 1365 South Waterman, 1365 South Waterman. Several victims down. We don't have too much further.
San Bernardino Mayor Kerry Davis was in a meeting when he got the news.
I immediately left the meeting and came back to City Hall and met with my staff, and we started doing some initial planning and trying to find out what the magnitude of the event was.
We do not know if we still have an active shooter. We supposedly have 2 down inside. We'll be making entry.
Sam 15 per fire. We have a 12 DOA south building.
Quickly, it became clear they were in the middle of a major crisis. A city already faced with steep challenges, including bankruptcy, unemployment, and high crime. Now in the spotlight for the worst terrorist attack on U.S. soil since 9/11.
It was a very difficult, very emotional time. And as you can imagine, the tensions were very frayed.
I couldn't be more proud of our police department, our fire department,
our neighboring law enforcement that assisted in that event.
The mayor spoke at a vigil that helped bring this community together. Support came in from around the country.
President Obama actually called the very next day and expressed his concern and sympathy for what we were going through and offered, of course, his support of anything that he could provide.
Then the president and first lady visited San Bernardino, meeting with families of the victims.
It was so moving for Michelle and myself, in part because it was so representative of the country.
We appreciated and we were grateful that he took the time to do that, and so showed his concern for our community.
This is the Inland Regional Center now. The conference center where the attack happened is still fenced off. The scars from the attack still evident at a makeshift memorial just down the street. Davis believes his community has been resilient, even moving forward, beginning to overcome its problems that existed before the attack.
It didn't derail our efforts. It did not keep us from moving ahead. So very soon we will probably emerge from bankruptcy. We've put together a plan that I think will aid the city.
The mayor says things are looking up in San Bernardino.
We've got shots fired out the back window.
They're shooting at us from the SUV. Eastbound on Richardson. Responding in, brought your crossfire.
Still, on this one-year anniversary of that dark day, he says the focus needs to be on the victims, the survivors, and all of their families.
That we are certainly continuing to keep them in our prayers as we strive to move forward, and we pray that they might be able to continue to move forward. And we want them to know that they haven't been forgotten.
In San Bernardino, John White, News Channel 3.
Even in the sleigh, you use a safety belt.
Santa traded in his sleigh for a fire engine, and with an army of elves dressed like firefighters and sheriff's deputies had the Sherman's La Quinta home surrounded. Bringing smiles and hugs and lots of presents to 5-year-old Riley Rose and her family.
Riley has neuroblastoma. It's a really tough cancer, but she's a little trooper. She's going to beat it.
It's been 82 days in the hospital since August, and grueling on our family and everything. So it's been a lot. It's been a lot. And these kind of moments, as you can see, make her day.
The kindness paid forward through the Debbie Chisholm Memorial Foundation, named for a sheriff's deputy's 12-year-old daughter who died of brain cancer. Riley's wish today, an American Girl doll with no hair, just like her, and
I was just amazed. I'm like amazed that these people would give their time and their talents and their treasures to my family and to my daughter to make her day, to make her world. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you.
There's nothing better than seeing a sick child smile. And so when you bring the whole entourage of police and fire, plus Santa himself making an early visit for her, how special is that?
Very special.
Cinderella and another Ariel. That's the same Ariel.
The Blue Cut fire moved swiftly through the Cajon Pass, burning almost everything in its wake. Dry brush, coupled with strong, gusting winds, caused spot fires to pop up in several different directions, shutting down the 15 freeway through the Cajon Pass, as well as Highway 138. More than 80,000 people were told to evacuate, many rushing to do just that, packing their lives into trucks or small U-Haul vans, grabbing their pets and escaping the blaze.
I've never seen anything move that fast. We watched the fire move from over here to over here in like a minute. Just a minute. It's done traveled like maybe a half a mile with the winds the way it is. It's pretty bad.
People needed to heed these evacuation orders in this area for sure. Take a look at this house, just one of many completely destroyed by this fire. Some families chose to stay and fight the fire, using shovels and garden hoses, ignoring mandatory evacuation orders.
It's painful. Smoke in your eyes and stuff. Trying to breathe out here, but this is our house. These are our neighbors. We're trying to keep everybody, as much people as possible, to get this fire out so we can save these people's homes.
Members of the San Bernardino County Fire Department say this is incredibly foolish and puts the people's lives and the lives of firefighters who may have to come back and save them at risk. More than 700 firefighters are working this fire. Many of them haven't gotten a break in several days.
They train for this type of work, but definitely it takes a toll on the body. Many of the firefighters have just come from the pilot fire and are assigned here. We've also brought in resources from other areas that may not have been assigned, but yeah, it's been a heavy fire season already in Southern California.
At least 2 firefighters sustained minor injuries fighting this fire.
Another star-studded evening in Palm Springs to kick off the Palm Springs International Film Festival. We were live on the red carpet throughout the evening. Here are some of my favorite interviews.
Who are you most excited for, Pat?
I was really excited to talk to Jane Lynch.
Well, you started off with a bang.
Nice to see you. We are. It's a terrific film, and you seem like a very cohesive cast, so I think it's very fitting that you get the Ensemble Award.
It's very satisfying to me that we're here to get the Ensemble Award, because of all the things about working on this project, that kind of team effort felt so clear to me the whole time, and so it's an honor to get this, but in a way it does seem to make sense. It's a great honor.
Jim plays a NASA scientist, so it's a little bit of a transition for him, but he plays a scientist on The Big Bang Theory too.
I look smarter than I am, apparently.
Well, we've got Annette Benning, who will be receiving her Lifetime Achievement Award with her husband Warren Beatty. Pleasure to meet you. I'm Patrick. And congratulations on your award this evening.
Thank you. This was a joy for me, and I'm very grateful to Mike because he put his heart and soul in it and asked me to be a part of it, and I'm very grateful for that.
Obviously, we're delighted to have this handsome devil next to you here as well. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you for having us.
I know this must be a particular honor to see your wife be given this kind of award.
I love it when she gets these awards. Never enough.
You obviously seem to enjoy the Palm Springs Film Festival. We've had you here a few times, so.
I love Palm Springs, love the festival. It's got such an enthusiastic environment. I'm sure people have talked about like the applause when you walk in. It's like amazing. But for so many other reasons, it's nice that it's so close. It has such a history of Hollywood. I love old Hollywood and Hollywood history. So it's fun to get to come and participate in that element as well, the sort of fantasy of it all.
Congratulations on your award.
Thank you so much. Such a pleasure to be here.
Well, we're very pleased to have you back here at the Palm Springs Film Festival.
Thrilled. Yeah, really thrilled. I was here 12 years ago, so to be back is kind of amazing for me.
What a wonderful film.
Still be around.
What a wonderful film you did with Dev, and you were really drawn in by the story. I understood that's why you really wanted to do this part.
Yeah, and I love the people that we play, and I love what the story is and what it stands for and what it says about the human spirit.
So just a terrific night, and it's always great when Hollywood comes out to play in the desert. We're handing out a few awards, and now, of course, the fun starts because everybody gets to watch all of those wonderful films throughout the remainder of the film festival. I'm Patrick Evans, CBS Local 2.